From then on their lifespan, can you look at the page 28 in the first paragraphs? From then on their lifespan will increase to 20 years, and then gradually become the longer and longer, until it would reach 80,000 years. And one is like a emanation of the Buddha Mutiyans arrive and telling us, teaching about the beneficial of to stop the killings principally, and then everybody is a follow, try to practice positive and to stop the negative things. And then it's like more and more become peace, unpolluted, and lifespan also the increase 20, 30, 40, and gradually we can to reach the 80,000 years. And then at the point, Lord Buddha Mutiyana will completely appear in a person like as the Buddha, become the Buddha and turn the wheel of the Dharma. And this kind of the growth and decline and the times, how many is like years up and down. Also in our life is also like this. Everything is very much changeable. Everything is transitory nature. And like this, in this perspective, of course, we should to realize that our own transitory nature or the impermanent, very, very important. And when the 18 such cycles of the growth and decline have taken place, and a human being live in the incalculable number of the years, and the Buddha infinite aspiration appears, and then it's like a kind of the everything is like increased fortune, lifespan, prosperity, or everything. And then it's Buddha's affinity is appeared and alive for a longer as all the other 1,000 Buddhas of the good Garbhasa. And also this Buddha, infinite aspirations, life is the amount of all the other Buddhas. Like our Buddha's present Buddha Shakyamuni is like life or the remain in this world 5,000 years. 5,000 years after disappeared. This kind of another in the 1,000 eons there is good in the Karma eons appeared, but the Buddha affinity the aspiration where appears is more longer to stays. Is activity for beings' welfare too. Is such profound, large Buddha infinite aspirations and the enlightened benefit, life, remain, and most longer set other Buddhas. Well, each all of theirs put together and the other in the good eons. And then finally, these eons of the Kalpa will end in the destructions. Examining such a change, you can see direct that even on this vast scale, nothing is beyond the reach of the impermanent. This kind of such a huge, big, and cannot go beyond is impermanent. Everything is go under the impermanent. And also there is another example of the impermanent. Watching the 4 seasons change, also you can see how everything is impermanent. And one after the others, like for example, after the summer, winter is sufferings. After the sufferings, summer. After the summer, autumn. And each is like 4 seasons, is changing. This is also showing the impermanent. And of course, we are difficult to realize it, the impermanent. But there are such and such things to show into us impermanent and changing process. For example, the 4 seasons. And when we see like this, everything is impermanent. We need to tell ourselves, I am impermanent. When is impermanent arrive, I need to some education, my mind. I need realization of the something. I need to develop compassion and positive right now. And just the moment of the death or the impermanent, at that moment, I can't do nothing. And right now, maybe it's much better. And also, it's when we look the 4 seasons. In the summer times, the meadows are the green and the lunch from the nectar of the summer showers. Extreme, like kind of the wonderful things. All living beings basking in a glow of the well-beings and happiness and the fruits. We can just go to the flowers, grass, and forest, swimmings, and wonderful, like a kind of, looks like a, compare the God realms, wonderful shit. And it's like innumerable varieties of the flowers, spring up, and some is like, then the whole the landscapes, and landscapes blossoms into a heavenly paradise of the white and gold scare and the blues. It's wonderful. And this kind of in the summer times. Wow, this, if the permanent to stay this one is the wonderful set. But of course, after the summer, there is the autumn set. Then as the autumn, and breezes grow, colds, syrup grows, it's like kind of the frozers. And then it's the gross chilly and cold. Then there's a green grassland changed. And or it's like kind of the yellow fruit and the flower is become the old, falling down. One by one, day by day, month by month. Dry up and the weather is to change. And then it's autumns. At that time is when we compare the summers are completely changed. And then after the autumn, there is a winter season is set in. In the whole weather become as the hard and bitter as the rock. Pond and rivers freezer. Solid and glacials. Winter occurs the landscapes. You could ride for a day on end looking for all those summer flowers and never see a single one. Absolutely truth. And some in the, for example, particularly in Tibet, and in the winter time is all the ice, the rivers, small lakes is become the ice. Earth even is become the ice. Snow covered the landscapes, meadows, everything. At that moment, if you want to get some in the summer flowers, you can to riding the horse, travel the day and month, impossible to get. And in this kind of situations, one is after these seasons. After the summer, there's autumn. After the autumn, there's winter. Of course, winter is this, but do not need to worry, say. And we're telling to others who don't worry, it's change. It's a spring start, and then it's like rivers, waters, lakes coming out from the eyes, and the green grass grow up, I remember. And then it's animals, birds start more singing, more. And then it's like this kind of changing process of 4 seasons. It is the wonderful, like this kind of show into the impermanent. But most sentient beings, human beings, they can't realize that the impermanent. We think that is the normal, it is like, we think last summer and this summer and last year's summer, we think all the time it's the same. Autumn's the same, spring is the same, winter is the same. Last year, the winter is not coming this year. This year's winter is different. Last year, autumn's not coming to right now. This autumn is this spring. Summer is completely different. There is like kind of the changing and impermanent is showing to us. Like that is the really even the example of the 4 seasons. We should realize that the impermanent. Once we realize that the impermanent, what do we need to do? We need to practice compassion, develop the inner positive body, speech, mind, and to do some benefit for the moment of the death, for the moment of the rebirth, or to get the next and the destinations. And the next destination should to be the heaven or hell. Absolutely depends right now our arrangement. In this perspective, a little bit to hurry up, it is like this. And like it's possible there's a little to range. We can to look in, if you go to Tibet, autumns, they are arranging for the like kind of the winter times. They're preparing the food, they're preparing the house, they're preparing to make warm during the winter times. If you prepare everything is very good, then it's the season of the winters coming. It's not that much cold. For example, in Europe, if you go to the Switzerland, in Belgium it's okay, it's quite. Switzerland, all the house, everything is conditions fantastic. You coming inside in the bedding in your apartment house, you can't feel it is the winter or not. And very wonderful, it's like this. And you go outside more fresh. It's the winter is not really winter. And it's like so marvelous. And you get fresh air a little bit. And go again like this. In Belgium, some good conditions house. If there's not cold, you have scented, everything is like this. And this is we prepared before to start the winter. If we do not to prepare the winter, and then certainly winter's coming, how much we are suffering, 100%. And before we preparing for Dharma City during the winter, if we try to prepare, it's impossible. Then how much we are suffered, and during the winter times. But it's okay. It's slowly be developed. Now it's wonderful. Winter is not much feel, and winter is coming. We are inside and to heat up. And sometimes in temple we have very nice heat up here, and you inside it's almost difficult to feel is really outside the winter or not. And you go outside, of course there's cold. But before we couldn't prepare in the winter, and we have tent and the pigeons shit, smell of the lot of mouse and dust, and how much we are cold. And also that time we try to prepare is sometimes nice. Look, this one is we are preparing some the futures, exactly like this. In the future, we need to prepare for the futures, the situation for the impermanent next destinations. I'm sleepy. Would you like argue? Okay, now, Sonia, what do you have questions? Do you have other questions? I'm sleeping.
Yes, I was also nearly sleeping.
Very good.
Rinpoche, so this practitioner who did his pillow the whole 20 years, at least he did not have any negative emotions. So what is wrong on his practice?
But same as you.
But I have many negative emotions.
Then why you are studying Dharma? Useless?
Is it useless to study?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If there's practitioners, this person has the negative emotions, study more Dharma, more have, it's absolutely useless. 100% I give you God. Then why we need to study Dharma?
Rinpoche, I said this man with the pillow.
Which man?
I don't know him. You know him.
Which one?
Heard your stories.
Which one? You're secret, you have some man? Huh?
And the other practitioner who has a donkey as companion, he has no negative emotions, I suppose. And there are many practitioners sitting in somewhere where they are not exposed to situations where they cultivate their negative emotions.
To be human being together. Do you understand? Why this person's married with donkey? Difficult to be human beings. Not kind each other. Aggressive each other. They need to run away. Do you understand?
The other question that I would have liked to ask already this morning was in connection to Bernard's question about the consciousness who can be reborn in a fly.
Kari? Yes, you reborn from yesterday, today. Yeah?
And this depending rebirth is also depending, as I understand from teaching until now, due to our habitual tendencies. If we make habitual tendencies according, then we will be in such according realms. For example, when we have been in the God realm, we will fall down in the hell because we have still
recite the sutta.
You're just imitating your
Sonia, what happened?
Your sound. So the question
I don't
is,
understand. Can you tell like your point?
The point is, I don't understand
about
how negative emotions, if we avoid them, will give us
you
tendencies.
Don't understand negative emotions, darling. I understand negative emotions.
If they give us tendencies to be reborn as, for example, hell realm.
If we avoid negative emotions, how can they give us tendencies to be reborn in the hell realm?
Oh yes, if you avoid the negative emotions, then there's no hell.
Then the pillow practitioner and the monkey practitioners, they did the good practice.
What? Okay, translated.
So the pillow maker practitioner or the donkey practitioner, they're making good practice.
But I didn't say they abandoned negative emotion. No, I didn't say they abandoned the disturbed emotion.
So, could you please explain me, because I did not understood, what is the result of abandoning negative emotion? What is definition of negative emotion? How to practice?
Happiness.
My happiness is not yours happiness. So.
Yes, if you change the negative emotions, be kind with me, say I love you, that I'm happy.
So when you are happy with me, then all my negative emotions has gone.
No, of course not. You need to abandon your negative emotion. If you don't abandon negative emotion, very wrathful and aggressively, then I'm all aggressive. Then we are all the time, never, darling, love is disappeared.
Negative emotions are not existing, same as positive emotions, not existing. It is just the
Okay,
movement.
now it's, I think it's you are playing. Give others the form. Yes, you are not question. Okay, others, do you have some questions? Yes, whoever has questions.
I may continue the line. It's what you said is like, yes, we do have negative emotions, and we need to stop them, right? Is that correct? So we all have negative emotions. Okay, not to generalize, but some of us have negative emotions, and
We need to stop. Yes.
we need to stop them.
Yes.
So stop negative emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like a negative action.
Sound negative
yeah, it's like
action.
a negative action. Like we need to stop it. Like to stop it. How can we stop it? We can recite mantras. We can practice kindness, right? So just to replace the negative emotion with a positive action.
Do you know the negative emotion? Anger.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to stop or not?
Oh, it would,
Okay, she
would
said
be
it's no.
ideal not to happen at all.
Huh?
It would be ideal this emotion not to exist, right?
But you don't know exist or not exist.
Well, they do exist. They
Yes.
happen from time to
And it's this action movement is good.
I'm sorry, I did not get it.
This negative emotion of the anger is good.
It doesn't get any positive feelings. No.
Okay, result is good.
No, obviously.
Okay, according to negative action, this action, I'm angry. Maybe it's I'm giving harsh word, I'm say bad, and I'm beating someone. This action conduct is good?
No,
No,
I
okay.
understand this. It's just my question was to replace it with a positive action, right? So
Yes.
to
Gentle.
stop them, it's like, okay, stop. Okay, I can stop. Can I stop? Maybe not everyone understands how to stop them, right, when they happen. But once they recognize the bad emotion, the negative emotion, is there a positive action to be taken? So I was asking whether mantras or other type of recitation.
I'm not sure.
Can
Mantras
replace
can
this.
help. But it's like, as this morning I said, you don't listen to me. When you have the negative emotion, for instance, anger. When you have anger, you need to recognize that. When you recognize, it's a recognition this recognition is positive. When you recognize your anger, and then you understand the essence nature of the anger, consequence of the anger, and this is really, you understand that, then there is the positive replacement. That moment, anger is like kind of shame. Anger is no function anymore, there is. You recognize your anger. Anger slowly like this is maybe strongly to recognize, immediately disappeared. Because this anger is not permanently in your mind. Anger is sometimes appear, sometimes disappeared. And then it's like afterwards, oh yeah, I don't want to give harsh word. My anger is anger. Anger's action is why I'm angry. Of course, sometimes disturb to others. Maybe it's like a kind of your brother, sister, father, mother, boyfriend, someone's disturbed to you. And then you say, this person's making me, I'm angry. But maybe you provoked to them. Maybe according to your disturbed emotion, angers, you make to them unhappy. Then they disturb to you. And this case is maybe I cannot to be angry with this and that person. Maybe I need to anger my own anger. And in this case, anger is also is not bad. Anger takes replace of the positive. Anger, there's no anymore function. And then it's like you immediately, I need to become kind. Then your movement, expression is coming out the movement of the happy, cheerful. Then others is receive happiness. And in this case, this is the realities. It is not kind of the someone says, like Buddha's or the teachings in the telling the truth. This is in our life, in the family situations. It's very, very, very important to have that. For example, sometimes it says like, or if I haven't got desire attachment, then how I can do service to my partners? Okay, I'm joking, but I should to have desire attachment in order to make sex. But not like this. Desire attachment, it's it's like a kind of clinging. It is, if you like kind of, you have your own belonging, your family, your partner, something is like this. I want to use it. Never thinking about the others ones. And also it's like desire attachment is related to the self-concerning. Only self. And you're not thinking to the others, and then it's automatically disaster things happened. But I have the desire, I'm controlling to the inside. This is the negative, related to the self-oriented. But it's like kind of the, to a little bit, to replace some positive things. And you can do service to the others. You become very, very nice, kindly. And there is like a kind of, anytime is, even without desire attachment, you can to have the pleasures. Why not? To make the happy your family, brother, sister, father, mother, children, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend. Why not? And you choose to kind of the supporting others to understand. The most, it's a human existence. It's very much selfish. When I need tea, I will make tea. Let's together make tea. If I don't need the tea, either your friend, family, partner to say, let's make tea. No. You don't? What? Why? And maybe other one is like something needed. This kind of the lack of the understanding, desire. Then it's according that, desire attachment, jealousy, competition. Also it's a competitions. Oh, it's like there is a competitive, a lot of. And this one's, I have competitive. I want to become the best than the other, that person. It's never, ever become like this. But if you more recognize your competitive, and this is disturbing emotions. If I'm like kind of to become, it's a good person to study, to learn it, this good, but also this person is being others, it's become the fantastic. Why not? Maybe have more good relation, happiness, and coming automatically, the result is positive atmosphere. And in this case, it's like to develop this kind of control the disturbing emotion, try. And all the Buddha's teaching, maybe you need to study, you are beginning. Dharma means itself is free from the negative emotion. Dharma is the antidote for the disturbing emotions. And when we study the Dharma, then we should to check our disturbing emotions. Doesn't matter you recite mantra, doesn't matter you are pray, doesn't matter of you are follow. How it's much is decrease my disturbing. Decrease means how much you control. Just this morning I say this. Maybe it's like the movement occurring disturbing emotion. It's the same as the before you become the follower of the Dharma. But after you study the Dharma, you liberating better than the before. Recognize the better than the before. More you study Dharma, you more recognize disturbing emotion. Disturbing emotion is you don't need to get rid of the, but disturbing emotion you control. Disturbing emotion like this. Then disturbing emotion sometimes become positive. Disturbing emotion is become the path. Disturbing emotions are wonderful. Then it's really Dharma is Dharma. Then it's we study it's wonderful. Sometimes, particularly, I want to say myself and some in Tibet. Okay, not in Europe, not. Some is a senior Buddhist people. More study aggressive. More study the Dharma, it is more jealousy. More study the Dharma is more competition. And more aggressive, more unkind, and criticize a lot. If you can look, the most good practitioners, dharmas, never ever criticize others. Never criticize. And just today checking their own secret defects, maybe if you don't like others, you never go close. Bye-bye. They say, of course, but never criticize. That means it's Dharma. Before I met, there is one is Soja Rinpoche's auntie, is in Khandro Tsering Chuda. It's extreme. She's, of course, living now she's passed away as a lady like Khandro Buddha. If you're talking a little bit others into Khandro criticize, she immediately changed subject. She never, ever criticized to the others. Talking a little very nice, good conversation, and it's amazing. This kind of, then, some good Dharma practitioner all the times like never ever criticize. Never like kind of they try. Of course they have in us a disturbing emotions, 100%. But how they can control, how they can to recognize, that is the most important. Okay, good questions, both Sonia and your questions, very wonderful. And the other, do you have questions? Argue with me? You don't want to argue with me. I'm a winner, Sonia. Look, I'm a winner. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. And then I need to win. I want to stop there.